You do have this weird mix, dude, I must say, of highly accomplished guy who clearly wants great things and knows you can deliver great work, but you have this underlying humility about you as well, which is also super refreshing, and it's super nice to be around. And it's not what you might expect from, a guy with your LinkedIn profile from Hollywood. And so I'm sure at first glance, when you meet someone in Paris, they may be like, oh, is he that guy? Yeah. But then they'll quickly realize you're not. And that's going to get you far. I think it already has.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Look, you never want to believe your own press clippings on anything. You never want to fall victim to that. Young, who again is, my partner in my life, Cambodian refugee. And
I met her on a call. She's amazing.
She's amazing. Yeah, she's amazing. And she grounds me like you wouldn't believe.
I can see that.
She would never let me get away with shit anyway. Right. But I love learning. I love to be surrounded by people who know way more than I do, and most people do. I know what I'm really good at, and I have two big strengths. I'm driven, passionate, like you wouldn't believe. But I also know my weaknesses. Like, I'm not a person who's out of touch. No one has ever said something about the weakness about me where I've been like, oh man, I never thought about that before. I know it. And I embrace the weakness, and I'm not in denial about it. And so I try and surround myself with people who can help me with my weaknesses, and I learn from them. And that's the great thing about life in general, is that, you could hear great stories, great advice from people who know things and are better than you are, or have different experiences that you have. And I'm constantly looking to improve myself. Not in a self-improving way. I'm not like one of those, guys who sit down and, and just reading motivation books or, that's not me. But I do want to take something away from everybody who I'm in touch with and go, oh, you know what? I was spent time with Brian today, and boy, you're not going to believe. And it's like I'm a sponge that way. And so I think that keeps me grounded as well. If you know that you're not the greatest thing to ever walk the face of the earth, and you should know that, then you should be open to learning from everybody you meet, because people are pretty fascinating, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I'm wondering if not everyone's like that maybe in Hollywood, but that's maybe another broadcast.
They're not like that in Hollywood.
Okay.
They're not like that in Hollywood.
Okay, so the stereotypes are true.
I think Hollywood, it's a tough business. It's a brutal business. I've never seen anything like it. I don't know anything like it, by the way.
How so? I worked on Wall Street, and I could call that a brutal business. But when I look at you say it, I feel like it's more brutal.
I've talked to a lot of Wall Street people.
Because it's emotional.
Yeah, I think it's because, there are a lot of I've talked to a lot of Wall Street people about interesting parallels. The grind and the money and all that stuff. I think Hollywood is an industry that there's a lot of big egos across the board, maybe not unlike Wall Street. But because you're taking a piece of clay and shaping it and molding that clay in a creative form, everybody wants to have input. Everybody wants to have a say, until it's a failure, by the way, as the cliche goes, right?
Right.
And then I didn't fucking do that. But in the process, it is everybody's involved in changing and shaping and having input at every level. So you have high stakes, big money, big drama, and a creative process. And it's a fucking grind to get it through, to oversee it, to get it out. Remember, unlike anything, when you're on Wall Street, You're selling a product, a company is behind that stock or whatever it ends up, whatever it is. In Hollywood, we're selling an idea at first. It's like I said, it's thin air. It's a concept until it becomes something. Now it is either a success or a failure based on a product. But sometimes that even becomes more challenging once you have the success, because now everyone's piling into this thing. I think, and the other part of Hollywood that I think is brutal is, I've always loved the creative side, but the business side of Hollywood is very, very, very tough. And I've never quite understood that. Studios and networks, as they've gotten squeezed over the years with advertising revenue, and ratings condensing and dropping, they've had to squeeze everything they possibly can out of creators and producers on the business deal term side. But at the end of the day, these are the people that you're cutting off the hand that feeds you. These are the people that you need to create. So why are you crushing them? Why are you trying to make such insane deals sometimes? If something does well, share in the wealth. Give the guys, the people who are making your shows and films, give them the piece of the action, because that is going to incentivize them and motivate them to come back to you for the next one. Don't you want to feed these people? Why do you want to starve them? The business is banged up in a lot of ways, and I'm not the first person to say that. I know that.
Yeah. Maybe Web3 changes that somehow, disintermediates it maybe. I
think Web3, that's a good transition back to that conversation, because I think Web3, that is the exciting part about, you don't need an agent in Web3. You don't need a network or a studio to greenlight your project. You need your belief, your passion, your vision, your drive, and your execution to pull it off. That's empowering, right? That is empowering. And so that is what Web3 has to offer. Look, don't get me wrong. I mean, there are some great people in Hollywood, and people right now. The exciting part about, I think, where we are in the entertainment industry, and I think maybe because Ted and Netflix started this, but certainly HBO, back into the cable days, there's some amazing content that's getting made. You're in a heyday of television right now, heyday of TV. And there's almost too much to watch and too much really good quality. So that's a good thing. But what drove that? Think about what drove that. Technology.
Yeah.
The streaming, first it was networks, then cable, and now streaming. So, and Netflix led that way. They helped drive that. The technology of being able to stream a show, stream a movie, opened up the entire door to create all kinds of amazing content, and for it to be consumed in all kinds of amazing ways. Is that any different than Web3?
No.
That's where we are. That's what that is the exciting part. Again, I'm looking at Web3 and drawing always have looked at the parallels back to the early days of the internet, back to early days of entertainment, back to where we are in entertainment today. They're kind of connected in a lot of ways, but you have to be able to look at it like that.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. The greedy bankers are about to do it again. In 2008, they crashed our financial system and nearly bankrupted the entire global economy. Then they received trillions of dollars in government bailouts. And after, they demanded fat bonuses paid for by you, the taxpayer.
It turns out the banks haven't just been screwing the American taxpayers, they're also screwing over their investors. Turns out the banking industry is the worst place you could put your money, despite enormous taxpayer bailouts.
Now the bankers are back to take away your financial freedom. They lie and tell you that cryptocurrency isn't safe. They try to make it illegal for you to choose how to invest your hard-earned money. They lie and say cryptocurrency is used by money launderers and criminals. But look at the record. It's the banks themselves that launder hundreds of billions of dollars every year to the biggest criminal operations in the world.
Leaked documents have revealed how some UK banks have helped criminals, money launderers and Russians under sanctions.
American authorities discovered that the Sinaloa cartel moved $881 million through HSBC accounts as bank officials turned a blind eye to the illegality.
The bankers lie and say cryptocurrency is not a real investment. Meanwhile, the smartest CEOs in the world are buying billions and billions of it. The truth is that banks lie about cryptocurrency because it makes them scared. The banks take $9 trillion per year of your hard-earned money, and they are worried that they will finally be exposed. They're scared because crypto means they can no longer control your money, which means they can no longer control you. They are scared because you might actually understand your money and intelligently decide what to do with it. Now is the time for us to come together, fight back, and take control. It's time to educate ourselves, our families, and our communities. Because financial education means financial freedom. We know that cryptocurrencies will help us build the new decentralized financial system of the future. A banking system that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. A banking system where access to finance is a fundamental human right. A banking system that is free and fair and welcomes all humans on this earth. The DeFi revolution is happening. We, the people, can no longer be fooled. We choose to take control of our finances. We choose to take control of our freedom. We choose to take control of our future. Join us, and let's take back our financial freedom forever.